Money is not hiding from you, it is waiting for you to call it by name. Today, I'll show you how the wealthy manifest riches with ease, and you can too. Money is not drawn to effort alone, it is drawn to alignment. The rich are not running in circles, grasping for coins, begging for opportunities, or pleading with life to notice them. Instead, they move with a quiet authority because they understand a spiritual law that is as real as gravity, like attracts like. They know that wealth is a vibration, a frequency, a current of energy, and to attract it, they must match it. A magnet does not chase the needle, it simply becomes magnetic, and the needle cannot help but be drawn to it. So it is with money. The wealthy have learned that money does not respond to desperation, but to certainty, faith, and identity. When you see yourself as a magnet for abundance, you no longer strain or grasp, you attract. Think about the difference between a magnet and a beggar. A magnet does not plead, negotiate, or struggle, it simply exists in its nature, and everything that resonates with it is compelled to come closer. A beggar, however, sends out a signal of lack, of fear, of hopelessness, and that energy repels the very blessing they desire. Many people unknowingly live as beggars, even while working long hours or saving diligently. They speak words of poverty, saying, "I can't afford this," or "money is so hard to come by," not realizing that every word is a seed, and their harvest reflects the energy they sow. The rich refuse to speak in this way. They are disciplined in thought and word, not because they are lucky, but because they understand a universal truth life mirrors belief. This is why wealth is not a number in your bank account, it is a spiritual identity. Long before wealth appears on the outside, it is first cultivated within. The rich live in a state of expectation, not anxiety. They believe money is their servant, not their master. They see money as a river that flows to them freely, not a rare treasure that must be chased. They rest in this knowing, and this rest creates power. You can start to shift this energy today, even if your pockets feel empty. Wealth does not begin with possession, it begins with perception. Start declaring wealth as your natural state. Speak with authority over your finances. You are not powerless, you are magnetic. Right now, I invite you to declare this with me. I am a divine magnet for wealth. Money seeks me out and flows to me freely. Speak these words not as a wish, but as a decree. Each time you say them, you shift your frequency, drawing abundance closer. When you speak and believe this truth, you begin to walk differently, talk differently, and live differently. You'll notice opportunities that once seemed invisible. People will feel your confidence and trust you with greater responsibility. Ideas will come to you like whispers from heaven, guiding you toward increase. This is not magic, it is spiritual law. Just as a magnet cannot stop attracting what aligns with its field, you cannot stop drawing money once you embody wealth consciousness. So release the struggle, the begging, the frantic chasing. Step into your divine identity. Believe that money is already on its way to you. The wealthy understand this, and now you do too. Manifestation is not about effort, it is about energy. Say once more, I am a divine magnet for wealth. Money seeks me out and flows to me freely. Let this be your new reality. Wealth is not something you acquire, it is something you become. Before a single dollar ever reaches the hands of the wealthy, they have already stepped into the identity of wealth. This is the great mystery. Most people miss. Money does not create a wealthy person. A wealthy person creates money. It is an inner state, a knowing, a spiritual posture that says, I am already rich, and life being perfectly just reflects that identity. Imagine an actor stepping onto a stage. They do not wait for the costume to feel like the character. They become the character first, and the world adjusts around them. Wealth works the same way. The rich walk with a quiet confidence, not because of what they have, but because of who they are being. They live from the end result, not toward it. They see themselves already blessed, already provided for, already sitting at the table of abundance. And this vision shapes their choices, their actions, and their speech. Most people, however, live in the opposite flow. They wait for wealth to show up before they think, speak, or act wealthy. They say, when I get the promotion, I'll feel successful, or when I finally have savings, I'll feel secure. But this is backward. The spiritual law says, believe you have received it, and it shall be yours. The wealthy understand this. They do not wait for proof, they create proof with their words and beliefs. They know thoughts are seeds planted in the garden of the mind, and their words are the water that nourishes them. If they speak lack, they harvest lack. If they speak wealth, they reap wealth. Every word you speak is a prophecy over your future. When you say, I'm always broke, your subconscious mind records it as truth and goes to work creating that reality. When you say, I'm not good with money, you program yourself to fail financially. But when you declare, I am a wise steward of wealth, I always have more than enough, you rewrite your destiny. Your words are not idle, they are creative power. Florence Scovel Shinn said, your word is your wand. And like a wand, it directs the energy of the universe toward what you decree. The wealthy use this law with precision. They guard their mouths the way a king guards his crown. They refuse to speak defeat or limitation. Their language is soaked in abundance, not as a performance but as an identity. They understand that language shapes reality. And this is where your transformation begins, not in working harder, not in striving, but in speaking and believing a new reality. Right now you can begin to step into your wealthy identity. Close your eyes for a moment and see yourself in a life of overflow. Picture yourself giving generously, living without debt, and waking up every morning in peace. Feel the security and joy that comes with knowing your needs are met before you even ask. Hold that feeling and then speak. I am wealthy in every way. I am aligned with divine supply. I live in overflow. Let these words roll off your tongue every day until your mind believes them and your life matches them. This is not pretending, this is planting. A farmer does not question whether a seed will grow, they trust the process. The wealthy live this way. They plant words of wealth daily, and their harvest proves it. You too can step into this reality today. Stop identifying with lack. Stop introducing yourself to life as a victim. Speak with authority. Speak as someone who knows abundance is their birthright. Because once you claim this identity, your world will shift to match it. Money is not meant to be hoarded in fear, it is meant to move, to circulate, to breathe. The wealthy understand this law of circulation, a spiritual principle as sure as the rising sun, what flows, grows. Money is energy, and like all energy, it needs movement to stay alive. When you hold it with trembling hands, terrified to let it go, you choke its flow. Fear turns money into a stagnant pool, and stagnation always invites decay. But when you release money with faith, it returns to you multiplied, like waves coming back to the shore. Imagine a river. When it flows freely, it stays fresh and vibrant, carrying life wherever it goes. But if you block it, the water grows still, murky, and lifeless. So it is with money. People who clutch every penny in fear may feel safe for a moment, but in time, that fear becomes their reality. They send a message to the universe, I do not trust supply. And the universe responds in kind, shrinking opportunities, closing doors, and confirming their belief in scarcity. The rich, however, are not reckless with money, they are confident in it. They know money is a servant, not a master, and they let it move where it is called to move. This confidence is their magnetism. You must understand this truth. Fear of spending is not wisdom, it is disbelief. Wisdom is using money with intention, guided by faith. When you pay your bills, do not curse them, bless them. Say, thank you, God, that I always have enough to meet my obligations and more to spare. This attitude transforms a draining expense into a declaration of abundance. Gratitude keeps the river flowing. Every bill you pay is proof that you are trusted with resources. Celebrate it. Speak life over it. This is how you shift your energy from fear to faith. The wealthy also give freely, and this is no accident. Giving is one of the highest acts of faith. When you release money into the world with a pure heart, you make room for increase. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, you cannot receive what you do not give. The universe mirrors generosity. When you give, even in small ways, you signal to life that you believe in endless supply, and life always responds. Do not wait until you have millions to start giving. Start now, even if it's a small gift, a helping hand, or a seed you plant into someone else's dream. This does not mean throwing money away carelessly, it means circulating it with purpose. The wealthy do not waste, they invest. They place money where it can grow, whether that's in businesses, ideas, education, or relationships. Every dollar they spend is a soldier sent on assignment to bring back increase. You too can begin to see your money this way. Every purchase, every investment, every act of generosity is a seed. When planted in faith, it always produces a harvest. So, let go of the fear that whispers, "What if I run out?" Fear is a liar. Divine supply is endless. Money is not your source, God is your source, and money is simply a tool in His hands. Begin today to move your money with faith. Pay your bills with gratitude. Give with expectation. Invest with wisdom. Speak over every dollar, "You return to me multiplied." As you practice this, you will feel a shift in your spirit. The river will begin to flow again, and with it will come peace, opportunity, and increase. Wealth begins as an image long before it becomes a reality. The wealthy understand this deeply. They see themselves rich, free, and provided for before the world ever sees it. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual blueprinting. Your imagination is not a toy, it is a tool of creation. It is the architect's desk where your future is drawn. Every great fortune started as a picture in someone's mind. A vision so clear, so alive, that reality was forced to obey. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "Imagination is a spiritual faculty, and it creates." When you understand this truth, you will stop waiting for wealth to appear before believing it and start believing it to make it appear. Visualization is not difficult. You already do it daily, often in the wrong direction. Worry is visualization of failure. Anxiety is visualization of loss. When you rehearse these images over and over, you write instructions to the universe that this is your desired outcome. And the universe, being perfectly obedient, fulfills it. But the wealthy use this same power for good. They spend time each day creating inner pictures of abundance, peace, and generosity. They see themselves paying bills with ease. They picture the joy of giving. They imagine their businesses growing, their investments multiplying, and their homes filled with warmth and beauty. These images are not fantasies, they are commands. You can begin this powerful practice today. Set aside even 5 minutes to be still. Close your eyes and imagine your ideal financial life. See your bank account full, not in fear, but in faith. Picture yourself writing checks with a smile, knowing that more is always coming. Imagine yourself blessing others, helping family, giving freely, supporting causes you love. Let these images be vivid. Feel them in your body as if they are happening now. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined. It simply obeys the images you feed it. When you visualize wealth consistently, you begin to align your inner frequency with abundance, and opportunities come as if by magic. Florence Scovel Shinn often taught that visualization is a prayer without words. When you see yourself in abundance, you are silently affirming, "This is who I am." And life, being a faithful servant, mirrors it back. That is why the wealthy live in ease. They have already walked through their success 1,000 times in their minds. They never imagined scarcity, so scarcity has no place in their reality. Here is a simple daily exercise each morning. Before you check your phone or step into the rush of life, take a deep breath and close your eyes. Picture your day going smoothly. See yourself at peace, paying every bill with confidence, walking with purpose, and receiving unexpected blessings. Imagine yourself ending the day with gratitude, knowing you are always provided for. Hold that image for just a few minutes. Do this daily, and you will begin to see shifts not only in your money, but in your spirit. Visualization is not pretending, it is spiritual preparation. Just as an architect draws the house before it is built, your mental pictures are divine blueprints for your life. Wealthy people know this secret and use it faithfully. Now it is your turn. Replace fear-filled images with faith-filled ones. See yourself living the life you desire, not someday but now. Speak this aloud as you visualize. I see abundance everywhere. I see myself rich, free, and generous. This is my reality. Hold these visions until they feel natural. Soon, life will bend itself to match what you have seen. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, yet so many overlook it because it seems too simple. The wealthy understand this secret. They give thanks not after their blessings arrive, but before. Gratitude is not just a polite response, it is a language of faith, a declaration that says, "I know it is done, even if my eyes do not yet see it." When you thank God in advance, you place yourself in perfect alignment with divine supply. You send a clear signal to heaven that you trust its promises more than your circumstances, and heaven always responds to faith. Think of a child who asks their parent for something and immediately says, "Thank you." They have no doubt their request will be granted. That is the kind of trust that opens doors. The wealthy practice this trust every day. They thank God for their wealth when it is still only a vision. They bless their businesses when they are still ideas. They praise Him for financial freedom, even when they are writing checks. This gratitude shifts their energy and creates a magnetism that draws provision. Life bends toward those who are thankful because gratitude is proof that you already believe. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "Gratitude is the law of increase." If you want more of anything, more money, more peace, more opportunities, begin by blessing what you already have. Every penny in your wallet can be a seed for more if you treat it with respect. The wealthy understand this deeply. They do not despise small beginnings because they know every fortune started with something small. When you hold a single dollar in your hand, instead of complaining that it isn't enough, bless it. Say, "Thank you for this, Lord. I know this is a seed that will multiply." Gratitude turns lack into a seedbed for increase. This is why wealthy people radiate peace even in uncertain times. They live in a posture of gratitude, and that gratitude keeps them aligned with abundance. When you constantly complain about what you lack, you close the flow of supply. But when you give thanks, even for the little, you unlock the river of increase. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is a spiritual stance, a choice to trust God's timing and provision no matter what your bank account says today. Here is a simple practice you can begin right now, every morning. Look at the money you have. Whether it's a wallet with a single bill, a bank account with a modest sum, or a drawer with spare change, and speak blessing over it. Say, "Thank you, God, that I am always supplied. Thank you for the money that flows to me even now. Thank you for unexpected blessings coming my way today." This act of gratitude sends out a powerful vibration that attracts more to you. The wealthy live in this vibration daily, and you can too. Gratitude in advance is faith in action. It says to God, "I trust you so much that I will celebrate before I see." And that celebration becomes the evidence of things unseen, the proof that you are aligned with divine law. Today, bless your home, your bills, your wallet, and your work. Treat everything you own as sacred. Whisper over every coin, "Thank you, multiply." Gratitude is your invitation to miracles, and miracles cannot resist a thankful heart. Faith without action is only a dream, and dreams without movement remain shadows. The wealthy understand this truth. Manifestation is not just speaking words, it is stepping out when the Spirit whispers, "Go." Inspired action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between prayer and provision. So many people pray for money, for opportunities, for breakthroughs, but when the divine nudge comes, fear holds them back. Fear says, "Wait until it feels safe. Wait until it is certain." But wealth never comes to those who wait in fear, it comes to those who step in faith. Florence Scovel Shinn often taught that the universe loves boldness, that every step you take in courage opens doors you could not have imagined. Inspired action is not frantic business, it is movement guided by intuition, that still small voice that tells you to make the call, to take the course, to apply for the position, to launch the idea. The wealthy have trained themselves to listen to that voice and to move quickly when it speaks. They do not hesitate, because they know hesitation is the language of lack. They trust that if God put a dream in their heart, He has already provided the resources to fulfill it. Too many people sit and wait for the perfect moment, but perfect moments rarely come. The wealthy create them. They take one faithful step, and then another, and soon momentum carries them where miracles are waiting. Even the smallest act of faith can open a floodgate of abundance. Think of a door locked tightly. It may take only a gentle push in the right spot to swing it wide open. That is what inspired action does. It pushes at the exact place where your breakthrough is waiting. Action is not about working harder or running yourself into exhaustion. It is about being aligned. A single spirit-led decision can bring more increase than years of striving. The wealthy understand this. They don't move in panic, they move in purpose. They act boldly because they know fear is the only real poverty. And every time they take a step forward, they affirm to the universe, "I trust the supply chain of heaven." That trust is what draws resources, connections, and opportunities to them. You too can begin living this way. Start small. Ask God each morning, "What is my step today?" Maybe it's making a phone call you've been putting off, starting that side business you've been dreaming about, or simply paying a bill with confidence instead of fear. Inspired action is often simple, but it carries power because it is rooted in faith. The key is to act quickly when the prompting comes. Delay is often fear in disguise. Florence Scovel Shinn would often say, "Do not hesitate. The opportunity you hesitate to take will be taken by another." That is not to scare you, but to remind you that wealth is always in motion. The Spirit is always speaking, always guiding, always opening doors. Your role is to listen and to step forward, even when your knees shake. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is moving in spite of it. Declare this now, "I act with courage. Wealth follows my faith." Say it again and again until it becomes your truth. Your life will shift when you start moving in faith. You will begin to see divine coincidences, unexpected provision, and doors that once seemed sealed shut. The wealthy know this secret. They act boldly because they know they are backed by an infinite source. You are too. Let faith be your compass, and action your key. You have now heard the secrets the wealthy live by, not secrets of greed, but truths of faith. Wealth is not a game of luck or a privilege for a chosen few. It is the natural flow of divine supply for those who align with God's laws. You have learned that money is not something you chase. It is something you attract by stepping into your true identity. You are not meant to live in fear, in lack, or in endless striving. You are meant to live in faith, in peace, in divine overflow. We spoke of becoming a magnet for wealth, of declaring over your life that money is your servant, not your master. We uncovered the power of identity, that the wealthy step into abundance long before it shows up in their bank accounts. You now see that circulation is the lifeblood of wealth, that giving, blessing, and investing with faith keeps your river flowing. You have discovered the creative power of your mind through visualization, painting spiritual blueprints that life itself will obey. And you know now that gratitude is the law of increase, that every penny you bless will multiply because you chose to see it as a seed instead of a burden. And finally, you have learned that faith without action is lifeless. Wealth is not only decreed, it is demonstrated. It is stepping boldly when God whispers, "Go." It is moving forward even when you don't see the whole picture, trusting that the next step will appear under your feet. This is how the wealthy live, not because they are more worthy, but because they dare to believe and act on divine law. Now, beloved, it is your turn. The universe is not a respecter of persons. It responds to faith, to boldness, to words spoken in authority. You do not need to wait for conditions to be perfect. You do not need to wait for someday. You already hold the power to rewrite your reality with your words, your thoughts, your actions, and your faith. Today is the day you stop begging for money and start commanding it as a faithful servant. Today is the day you align yourself with the truth that God is your source, and His supply is infinite. I want you to speak this decree with me now, not as empty words, but as a spiritual law that cannot fail. Take a deep breath, close your eyes if you wish, and speak it aloud. I am a child of divine abundance. I am a magnet for wealth, and money seeks me out freely and endlessly. I live in gratitude for every blessing I see and every blessing on its way. I give freely, I receive joyfully, and I act boldly. I am aligned with divine supply, and nothing can separate me from the overflow of God's provision. Wealth flows to me in perfect timing, in perfect order, and in perfect ways. I am rich in wisdom, rich in faith, rich in opportunity, and rich in life. So it is, and so it shall be. Speak this daily. Let it settle deep in your spirit. Let it change the way you walk, the way you think, and the way you see yourself. You are no longer someone chasing wealth. You are someone commanding it by divine right. You are no longer waiting for a breakthrough. You are living in one. And as you practice these truths, magnetizing wealth, stepping into your identity, circulating with faith, visualizing your future, living in gratitude, and taking inspired action, you will see what once felt impossible become inevitable. This is your new reality. Say it with faith. Money is my servant. I am aligned with divine supply. I live in overflow. Speak it until it becomes the only truth you know. Heaven has already said yes. Now your words, your actions, and your faith will bring it forth.